Hey everyone, welcome back. It's Mike here. As you've probably guessed, I have consumed countless books, YouTube tutorials, articles on self-help, and some of it's really valuable, some of it not so much. So I will go over today and share with you the top 6 investments that I've made into my personal life from going through all this content, and share it with you so that you can consider implementing them into your own routines. And hopefully you'll find value in that. So, let's jump right in. Okay, so the first investment is drink more water, and even go one step further and switch out all of your fizzy drinks, your coffees, your teas, your energy drinks, anything like that. Switch out for water. For me personally, the only time I am not drinking water is if I'm out with my friends in town and we're having a few sort of alcoholic drinks. And that's my exception to the rule. It's a condition I've set saying that I can go out and have fun with my friends. But outside of that, I only ever drink water, and I always feel really good for it. I mean, I actually wrote a blog post detailing the benefits that I've seen in my day-to-day life and some tips to get started, so I will link that down below in the description. But as a quick summary, you're gonna have better skin, you're going to have better mental faculties because your body is never going to be dehydrated and it'll have enough water to function, and you'll have more energy, surprisingly. Now, a lot of people rely on caffeine for their energy, and that will provide you spikes and you'll go up, but then you'll crash. And if you imagine this as your standard energy level, caffeine might make you do this and you'll go slightly above it, but then you'll crash and you'll drop below it, and you'll need more caffeine to say continue with what you want to do. Whereas if you're drinking just water, you just stay consistent throughout the day and you're just more functional that way. And it is such a better way to be, and I can't recommend it enough. So consider making the switch. It's actually cheaper and easy to do than actually going out and getting all these other drinks that you want. Drink more water, it'll change your life. Okay, so the second investment is one that's going to cost you a bit of money, and that's to hire a personal trainer and a nutritionist. You can sometimes get these as a combo deal, so your personal trainer may be your nutritionist. For me personally, I had 2 separate ones, and the value here is undisputably huge. Now, I used to weigh 85 kilograms, I now weigh roughly around 73, maybe 74. Thanks to lockdown and lack of access to a gym, I've definitely fell off a little bit, and I can't wait to get started again. But the value you'll see from a personal trainer is huge, and it's not just that they'll get you in the gym and get you exercising. They're going to hold you accountable, provide you with plans, make sure you're doing everything safely, so any sort of lifts like squats, deadlift, bench press, all that sort of stuff, they'll be there to guide you and make sure you're doing it with proper form to get the most out of the exercise and that you're safe. And you can work with your personal trainers and set goals. Before I started with Alex, my personal trainer, I couldn't perform a single pull-up, and if I used an assisted pull-up machine, I'd have to use sort of like one of the easiest levels to be able to do it. I've gone from that to, with his help and his methods, I can now do 10 pull-ups without any effort really, and it's a huge achievement for me, and I've got to see the progress I've made. And the nutritionist is also really important, because a lot of your gains will be made in the kitchen, and I doubted this at first, but once I got a nutritionist on board as well, my weight started to just disappear and drop. I started to tone up more, I felt better in myself, more confident, and I had much higher energy levels, because eating clean really does affect a lot more than just how you look. It's also sort of an internal change as well. So these are going to cost you money, but it's probably worth more than anything else you can invest in my opinion. So definitely look into them, try them out for even just a month and see what the difference is for you, because I can tell you now, if I had never made that decision, I would not be anywhere near close to where I am today. Okay, so the third investment tip I've got for you is to invest in your skin, and by that I mean invest in your skincare routine and also invest in decent skincare products. Now, in the past, I didn't do that. I used to buy stuff from the supermarket shelves that was on sale, that was the cheapest I could get. I'd only buy a face wash, I wouldn't worry about anything else. And as a result, my skin used to break out in spots all the time. It was really dry and it didn't look that good. And that really hurt my personal confidence. But on top of that, other people would see me and they would judge me because of that. Because regardless of what people are going to tell you, first impressions do count, and how you look will form a big part of a person's first impression of you. So it's best that we do everything we can to give off the best impression we can. And good skin is a huge part of that. So I made the shift eventually. It took me much longer than I care to admit. And I started investing in good products. My personal ones that I use are Clinique's, but I am actually currently using Tiege Hanley, which you may have heard of if you live in the YouTube hemisphere enough. And I'm curious whether that provides the same level of quality, because it's definitely a more affordable option than Clinique. I may do a review on that down the line, we'll see. Now, after you've got the good products, or products that work for you, I would suggest building a good routine. Now, my personal routine, which works for me, and I'm going to preface this with, it works for me. You may have different skin to me, so you may need to think about what works for you. It's all about experimentation until you find what's right. But for me, I wash my face twice a day, morning and night. I moisturize at least once a day in the morning. I'll exfoliate roughly twice a week, and I will apply sun cream every day. And that is because, despite living in the UK, the sun's rays still are damaging even when it's not sunny, and it's just a good habit that you should get into, really. That's my personal routine. You need to come up with your own and stick to it, and you'll see changes quite quickly, and hopefully it'll help you with any self-confidence issues or anything along those lines. Okay, so my fourth investment tip for you is to invest in your sleep, especially invest in the time that you get up. Now, time is the most valuable asset you have, because once it's gone, it's gone. There is no possible way that you can reclaim it. So making the most of the time you have is massively important, and waking up earlier helps with that, because you'll hopefully get more hours in your day, and you'll get more hours in your day with less distraction. Because once everyone else is up, you've got all manner of text messages, meetings, just people who are going to be not harassing you, but contacting you because they want to stay social. And that's great, and it's important for us as people to socialize and interact. But for when you want to get work done, not having those distractions can be massive. So getting up a few hours earlier before everyone else will allow you to make the most of your day. Me personally, I use it for morning exercise, bit of reading, actually making these videos, because I don't actually get barraged with people asking me things. And it's also a much more productive time of the day, I've personally found, because I work full time and I work long hours on certain days. So if I go into work and then work these hours and come back, in my sort of field, which is software development, it's quite mentally draining. And when I finish at the end of the day, it's hard for me to really focus on everything that I want to do after that, and my productivity levels do drop a little. Whereas if I do it before I go into work at the start of the day, my activity levels and my productivity is really high in comparison, and I can get a lot more done in a much shorter span of time. So consider investing in your sleep, getting up earlier and making the most of your day and getting the most time out of it. I actually have a video on how you can do this, so I will put that somewhere, and hopefully that'll help you get started with it. It's definitely a worthwhile investment to make, so give it a go and see how you find it. The next investment I've got for you, which is investment number 5, is all about investing into your education and yourself, your skills, and basically everything about you. Now, there are so many courses available on the internet. Some of them are free, so you can just invest your time. Some of them aren't, some of them cost money. But you shouldn't be afraid of investing money in something that's going to improve your skill set. And even now, a lot of the places, they offer free trials. So you've got things like Skillshare, Udemy, Shaw Academy, Masterclass, there's countless resources. And a lot of these will offer you some form of free trial to experiment and see what you can do. But you should be making the most of this time. Sure, you can spend time binging in front of Netflix and relaxing, that's important to do at times, you need to also spend time actually researching topics, improving and getting the most out of your time. Because I can tell you now, if you just spend all of your waking hours relaxing, watching Netflix, playing games, you'll never get to where you want to be. Like, if you have big goals about things you want to achieve, if you want the nice things in life, you need to actually put the time in and the hard work. And that is going to come down to investing in yourself and the skills that you have available. So take the time out, put maybe even just a few hours aside a week to watch a course and experiment with it and work on a skill and see how big a change that can make for you. Like, before I started these videos, I invested time into looking into video editing, how to present to the camera and all these other things. And these are skills that I haven't perfected, so I'm still researching them now, watching videos, watching tutorials and trying to improve. And it's why hopefully, as more videos come out, you're going to see small improvements little by little. They'll add up until it's at a quality level where I'm happy with it. So yeah, take time out, invest in yourself, and stay consistent with it, because the more you do it, the more you're going to get ahead of everyone else. Okay, so we're on our final tip now, and this is all about cutting out negativity and toxicity from your life. And this mainly comes in the form of people, and you'll know these people because when you speak to them and you tell them about your goals or what you're working towards or things that you're excited about, they're generally not supporting you in those areas. They're instead trying to drag you down. And this is usually because they're not happy with their own lives and their own positions and where they are. Now, if you are surrounded by these people, it's not easy, but you need to cut them out because they're just going to make you feel bad about yourself, demotivate you, and stop you getting from where you can get to. But don't just cut people out because they're not always supportive. Sometimes it's important to have people who can rein you in and keep you realistic. But ultimately, if you make a choice to do something, they should come behind you and support that decision. Even if they disagree with it, they shouldn't be there telling you that you're wasting your time, that this is a terrible idea, that you'll never be able to do anything, and all the other sort of negative approaches people can sometimes take. But beyond people, you also need to consider the sort of media that you are consuming. I personally don't follow the news as much as I used to. I follow it for key matters and to be informed, but I don't consume everything because generally the news and the media is quite a negative place and it's all about everything that's wrong with the world. It's very rare that you get good news. And for me personally, that affected my well-being and my mentality. And I prefer to remain positive, optimistic, and always find the silver lining in my day-to-day. So consider what sort of media you're consuming and whether or not that's acting as a hindrance or a benefit to you, and maybe rein that in. But ultimately, you just need to find these areas in your life that are toxic to you and are dragging you down and preventing you from getting where you want to be. Remove them and work towards your goals, and you'll feel so much better for it. And it's a hard step, but it's a worthwhile one to do. Hey everyone, so that's 6 tips that I've used that have really helped me in my day-to-day and ones that have had a notable impact and improved my life. I hope that you can take from this video some of those tips, use them to improve your own lives, and get the most out of your day-to-day, really. But with that, that's all I've got time for today. I hope you enjoyed the video. Please consider leaving it a like if you did, subscribe for future content I'm working on, and maybe leave me a comment down below of investments that you've made into your lives and how valuable they were to you. Because I'm always looking for new tips to try out, and if you've got some for me, I'd love to hear them. But with that, I'll see you later.